Hey, what's up and hello. This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Hey, Locked Queen. Hey, Miss T. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. Hey Danielle, this is my review on Love During Lockup, Season 5, Episode 54, Ditch the Chicks. Hi Candace, if I had to rate this episode, it's an F plus. And the only reason for the plus is what shocked the hell out of me in this episode. And as you can see on the thumbnail, that's what shocked the hell out of me. And we'll talk about it. But it's still boring. It's still boring. Yeah. I'm gonna need production to get it together. Why does Love During Lockups have to be so freaking boring? I don't get it. I don't. But of course, we keep it entertaining over here. But I'm gonna need for them to get it together. All right. Hey Nicole. Hello, hello. So yeah, I give it a F plus. You guys let me know what you rate it in here. I mean, I don't know why I gave it a plus. Well, I said why I gave it a plus, but you know, a F is a F. I guess I'm trying to be a little nice with the plus on it, but yeah, nothing is happening at all. Okay. So with that being said, hey Suzanne, let's get started with the hunt in 2Ks. And what I mean by Ks, I mean crazy. Crazy with a K, because both of them are psychotic. Do you understand me? Okay, so hey Susanna, I think I said hey to you, but hey again. So you give it a D, Danielle? Hey, it's better than my F plus, right? So let's get started. We have Kate still talking to her freaking, I guess, so-called man, and how he's like, I don't want to keep lying to you, but yeah, I'm still talking to the prison piggy banks, and blame it on yourself. This falls on you because you're the one who signed me up. Okay, bloop, there it is. And so her friends is looking at her like, bitch, you stupid, like you really stupid, like what is going on here? And so he's like, how many are you talking to? And he's like, two. And she's like, just two? And he was like, well, and some emails from others, but I'm just getting money from them. And she's like, see, you're telling a half truth, that means it's still a lie. And so he's like, look, honey, I love you. This is why I'm telling you. I don't want to lie to you anymore. I'm coming home to you. And she's like, you know what? I don't know if you're coming home to me. And he's like, oh, F you. Now that's love. You go from, honey, I love you, I'm coming home to you, to F you within 30 seconds. So, yeah, that's great. So, at that point, Katie goes horse riding and she gets a call from him. And at that point, he apologizes to her. And she's like, look, you leave the sugar mamas alone or I'm done. And he's like, they're gone. You're right. So as soon as we hear they're done, guess who he calls? Doofus. All right, Kaleigh. And she's like, honey, guess what I did? I went to a vintage store to look for a wedding dress. I didn't get a wedding dress though, but I did find a ring. And I'm like, okay, really? This girl is marrying herself. And then she says in the confessional, she says, I know there will be haters saying you are the woman, you shouldn't be buying your own ring. And I'm like, is that a hater or someone with common sense? Like, I'm so sick of people saying everything that someone tells you is just hate. Like, that's common sense, dear. I mean, you're already sending him money on a weekly basis. The least he could do is buy you a ring, even if we know that this is a fake ass freaking engagement. But Really? They're not haters. It's just common sense. Hey, Robin. Yeah, stumbled on another live. I appreciate you coming back. Exactly. Who buys their own ring? A doofus. Okay. A doofus like this girl with her face and all. This face, and I'm going to keep this picture. I'm going to keep it forever for every freaking episode that I review, because this facial expression represents everything we need to know about this damn girl. Everything we need to know. It's all in her eyes. Brain is not there at all whatsoever. Okay, Suzanne, you gave it a D. Kate really believes she is special. Yeah, she does. And yeah. So, hey, Robin, who buys their own ring? A doofus. Like I said, a doofus. Someone called her Big Bird. And that's the look she's giving, like she's on Sesame Street. Big Bird. So, with that being said, honey, all of a sudden, when she goes through all of the whole, I went to go get a dress, bought me a ring. He's like, well, I have some bad news to tell you. Remember when we had the little freaky tales via video or on the phone? Well, they're now adding 30 to 60 days to my time. Okay. Hey, Miss Elementary, how are you? And so she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, they're adding the time. Now, interesting enough, he didn't tell Kate this from what we see. Now, he told Kate when she was at the park with the dog that he ended up getting in trouble, but he didn't know what type of time he was going to get or if there were going to be any consequences. But he did tell Kaleigh that he got 30 to 60 days. So I'm feeling like there's something sneaky behind this on why he's telling Kaleigh only and not telling Kate. Is it actually true that he has 30 to 60 days? Or is this him buying time? So when he gets out, he has 30 to 60 days to be with Kate by herself. And then he can see Kaleigh. Like, I don't know. But I feel like the fact that we only heard him say that to Kaleigh, there's something sneaky in this situation, big time. Yep, see, Nicole, you thinking just like me. Yes, he's gonna be with Kate for a month, right? I knew something was sneaky behind it because I said there's something don't feel right about this. But of course, she is like so disappointed, and she is like, "Can you guys give me a moment? Like, I can't be in this bathroom anymore." And then she closes the damn bedroom door, and she starts to cry. I didn't know she was crying at first. I thought she was just breathing. Because, look, as someone who used to be 270 some pounds, sometimes the breathing can be real loud, but she was actually crying. So I was like, girl, bye. You're going to be doing a lot more crying. So Hunter is starting his seriously, or ghost both of them and end up dating somebody else who was freaking prison sugar mama bae. Who knows? Hey, Michelle. He said 30 to 60 days. He giving himself time to do what he needs to do. He's going to the hole with Donnie. Not Donnie. So yeah, with that being said, that's their segment. So we're going to move on. Big Bird. Seriously. So Sam and another crazy K. Sam wakes up from his hangover. He was partying with his boy. Krystal, of course, calls, and he was like, oh, man, I'm just getting up. And she's like, you drunk that much? And he was like, yeah, I was out with my boy. What else did you do? And I'm just like, oh, my gosh, like, Sam, you are just a dumbass completely. And so he's going to visit her that day. And he says he visits her once or twice a month, right? So with that, the grandmother, though, was supposed to come with him. But Rita apparently isn't feeling good and doesn't want to come. And Krystal is begging him about, can you go check on her, please? Like, and he's like, honey, that's 30 minutes out of the way, and I have a certain time to get to you. Mind you, it's 3 hours one way to drive to get to her. And she was like, well, can you do it before you get here? And look, I get it. I get the fact that, you know what I'm saying, her grandmother is the only thing that she has. Well, she apparently has Sam too, but we clearly know why Sam is there in her life. But that's the only, I guess, blood relative that she has. I get it, but at the same time, that is not his damn responsibility. Like, stop the nonsense. So, with that being said, hey T Pretty, now she closes doors while she is crying, but did not close the door. Ooh. And on that note, honey, got a point there, right? Got a point there. T Pretty, what's up? Krystal knows grandma doesn't want to come. Right. Well, I don't know if Krystal knows grandma don't want to come. We'll talk about that in a minute. Hey, Joseph. I do feel like, though, Rita was hiding from Sam. She did not want to deal with him. That's what I do feel. That's what I do feel in the situation. So he sat up there and he's calling Rita. Rita is not answering the phone. And so at that point, Sam starts to complain about all the sacrifices he's making for Krystal and Rita. And I'm like, yeah, you are, but yet you still do it. You still do it. I mean, it was already crazy enough for you to move completely away from everything you know to freaking Tyler, Texas. But yeah, you're complaining, but you're not doing anything. Okay. So at that point, he ends up still going to check on Rita. Even though he didn't want to, he goes to check on Rita. He's knocking on the door. Rita ain't answering at all whatsoever. And so he even says, you know, if I don't take care of Rita, Krystal will be done with me. Well, hell, let her be done. Let her be done. That will really tell you what you're dealing with. Let her be done. And he was like, what satisfaction do I get out of this? I guess being used is the satisfaction you get out of this, because clearly this turns you on in some kind of way. I don't know, but clearly you like being used. You like being used. I felt Krystal was wasting time and didn't really want him to come busy. Yeah, I feel that way too. Hey, Shayla. She always be cooking late at night. I tell you, Shayla be cooking late at night. She be having the munchies at night. He is dumb like Andrew. Another Andrew and Candace. Ain't that the truth? Same. Sam said Rita never wants to go to the visit, so I'm confused. She probably don't want to deal with him. He's weird. And honestly, her damn granddaughter is weird too. Shit. Sam gives off he could be annoying at times. I know Rita was peeking through them blinds hoping he would go away, right? Literally hiding in her freaking bedroom, something. So he knocks, she doesn't answer. He calls her, and next thing you know, he's on his way to go see Krystal. And she gets a call, she calls him, and Sam is like, look, honey, she didn't answer the phone. And she's like, I am so worried. I'm so worried. I'm so worried. I don't want anything to happen to her. And I'm like, Krystal, look, I get it, but I don't get it. Calm down. At the end of the day, like, it clearly, if he had just spoke to her saying she didn't feel well, stop thinking the worst. Like, she clearly went straight to a whole nother side of her thinking the worst could have happened to her grandmother. I don't want anything to happen to her while I'm in here. And maybe she does have anxiety from her mother passing while she's been in there. But he's like, look, honey, like, I'm trying to come see you. Because, you know, since he ain't getting no freaky tales and she ain't even trying to have freaky tales on the phone, he like, I need some type of human contact with you, right? So at that point, he's driving, and she even says when he's about to go over there that she's like, well, you know, look, if you don't make it, there's always the next time. Mind you, she only sees him once or twice a month. And you're willing to blow this off just so he can go check in on your grandmother? Girl, bye. They both using you, you dumbass. So at that point, he is making his way. I have a feeling he's not going to make it, but we'll see. And so she says, let me call my grandmother. She calls him back and said, I just spoke to my grandmother, or whatever the case may be. She just said she's not feeling good. And she was like, I'm just so worried about her. And he was like, well, honey, yeah, I understand it. I know you think of the worst case scenario or whatever, but this is why you need to come home, because I can't do this by myself. And so at that point, I was just like, I'm hoping he gets some type of brain and he realizes what he already knows and he has already said out loud. He's not getting anything out of the situation. He's constantly making sacrifices and getting nothing in return. So with that, though, apparently, let Krystal tell it, Sam hired a parole lawyer. And when the parole lawyer didn't come at first, she found out that he actually lied and didn't get the parole lawyer, but he has the parole lawyer now. And I was like, probably because he couldn't afford a parole lawyer. I mean, all of his money is going towards you and Rita. Okay. So maybe because he couldn't afford one. Like, I don't know. I just can't believe people are just this dang on stupid after how many seasons we've seen this show. But I guess. So with that being said, that was the end of their segment. I don't know what's going on with Sam, but literally the fact that I don't know. Sam gives me the vibes though that he could snap on Krystal. While I feel like she kind of crazy and clearly we already know what she done did to an ex, I feel like he could snap on her. Or hell, snap on Rita. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, got it, Shayla. Got it. Why couldn't she do that before? Right. Watch them have a 5-minute visit. Right. Did she not call her grandma before? That's what I was trying to figure out. Because to me, it seemed to me that she kept saying, you call her, you check in on her. And finally, after he sat up there and went to go visit and everything, he says, well, let me call her. And then all of a sudden she picks up the phone. They're playing both of them. They're playing. They are both playing him. Sorry, getting tongue tied. They're both playing him. Because I'm like, you should have been the main one calling. You kept calling him back and forth trying to figure out if he went to go check in on her. Then all of a sudden you call and she answers. That's why I was like, she was hiding from Sam. She was hiding from him. Sam is broke and can't keep up with all of this. He can't, even with all of the freaking overtime he does. Please explain to me why these convicts are so entitled. Because they get the dumbest of the dumb that they can use. That's what they do. Why are they even on here? She has 7 more years. Well, I don't know if they feel like the show is going to make sure or help her get out because she's up for parole soon. I'm going to assume we're going to see by the end of this season if she is eligible for parole or not. But yeah, if she's not, it would be no purpose of her being on the show at this point because she can't even get paid for the show. Sam is getting paid. Rita's probably getting paid, but that's it. That's all. Sam was a true player for the Himalayas back in the day, which it's very hard for me to still process that. And what the hell happened to him where now he's the complete opposite. I didn't know somebody could call that many times a day. Right. Baby, it seemed to me she got a cell phone in that prison. Like, seriously. I don't understand it, but hey, I don't know if they get unlimited phone privileges when they're on this show. Maybe that's the privilege of being on the show. I don't know, but hey, it is what it is, right? I'm telling you, something in her eyes. Look at her eyes, y'all. Like you could barely see the white part of her eyes. Something's very dark and sinister about her. Very dark and sinister. But that's just my opinion. And look at him. Look at this shit. Look at his eyes and look at his facial expression and look at her. Child, God bless him. Moving on. MJ and Willie. This is a new couple, y'all. And we got someone who live in California in the Bay, San Francisco, okay? MJ is a wholesale real estate investor. What the hell is that? Help me understand. Anyone know in the real estate world? What the hell does a wholesale real estate investor do? Help me. I was lost when I saw that shit. I said, okay, all right. AKA no job. He does look exhausted. He does. He looks exhausted. But yeah, so this is MJ, okay? And MJ is on a hike with her cousin. She lives in San Francisco now, but she grew up in Salt Lake City. And she says she is the black sheep of her family. Now, she met Willie when she was 21 years old. She met him at her sister's house, but she was married and got married, and she was married for 13 years and got divorced and then moved to San Francisco. Interesting enough, though, we haven't heard her mention anything about kids yet. Doesn't mean she doesn't have any kids. Maybe we'll get introduced to them later. But interesting enough, she said 13 years. I would be curious to know if she did have kids or not. Willie was also married at one point. I think he said he was married for 9 years and he ended up having 3 boys. And he's been in jail for 4 years in Utah, of all places. Child. So apparently after his divorce, both of them had very hard divorces. They kind of hit rock bottom and he got hooked on substances with his divorce. All right. So her and her cousin, like I said, are hiking. And he ends up calling her when she's on a hike. And they have their little lovey-dovey, oh, you my daddy and all of this bullshit. But anywho, so with that, she's talking to her cousin. And the cousin is like, well, are you really serious about Willie? And she's like, of course. And she's like, are you sure you're serious about Willie? She was like, and have you slept with anyone? And she's like, no, I haven't slept with anyone. The cousin looking at her like, you lying. Like, why you always lying? Like, why you lying to me right now? What is going on here? Okay. So she said after her divorce that in her leaving to go to San Francisco, she said she didn't have family there and she was lonely. Mind you, she got a cousin that clearly lives there. And so she said she was really lonely and Willie was there for her. And she said that when she was in Utah, she comes from a big family. And she said her dad has 36 kids. Now, mind you, I was in the kitchen when I heard this. And I thought for sure I didn't hear that correctly. So I had to come back to the TV and rewind it. And then I heard it again. And I said, no. I know I didn't hear 36. I need to put the caption on this bitch. Because I know I didn't hear 36. And the captions did say 36. And I said, I'll be damned. Like, your daddy was sticking and moving. Like, he had to have multiple kids by multiple women for years. Like, what? And then the crazy part is there's pictures. And I'm going to assume all of them kids below are grandkids. I'm not going to assume those are the daddy's kids. Maybe the kids on top that's standing are some of the kids and those are the grandkids below. But I am confused. Here's the thing about Mormons, though. If he's really a Mormon, she said that daddy had those kids. She didn't say her parents had 36 kids. And she also mentioned she was raised by her mom's family. So some tell me daddy was just sticking and moving. Because if he was truly a Mormon, yeah, they will have a lot of kids, but it's with that woman. Seemed to me he was just doing his thing in them Utah streets. Okay. So yeah, 36 kids. 36 kids. I actually don't watch 90 Day Fiance. 36 kids, and you can't tell me they all got the same. They don't. Y'all remember that movie She Hate Me by Spike Lee? That's what that's reminding me of at this point. I want to know why she started drinking. Yeah. I said that too. I said you ain't gonna be able to tell me it's just because you like the taste. Something is deeply wrong. That yes, daddy was getting it in. How do you remember 36 birthdays? He probably don't. He got so many kids, the kids probably call him to remind him of their birthday. Okay. Like that's just what it is at this point. So yeah, I had to I was like, okay, that's what I heard. That's exactly what I heard. But my thing is, how the hell can you feel lonely with 36 siblings or 35? Because she 36. How can you be lonely with 35 siblings? I don't, if anything, you should probably be happy that you did get away because you seem like you always, and she said they really close. I don't see how you can even feel lonely. Do you even have time to be by yourself, even with you being in San Francisco? I'm sure they was always contacting you. So this is why I say something is much deeper than her saying that, she moved away and she was lonely. That many damn siblings, somebody was always in contact with you. Always in contact with you. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, child, at that point, she sits up there and makes it seem like Willie was her confidant and her supporter, whatever. But the cousin is like, are you dealing with Willie because you really want to deal with him? She's like, yeah, I really want Willie. And she was like, are you dealing with Willie to erase your ex-hubby? Is that it? Are you dealing with Willie to erase your ex-husband? And so she says she wants to be with Willie, but the cousin's still looking at her like she full of it. Okay? You ain't even lying. You ain't even lying. I'm telling you, Wu-Tang Clan for real. For real, child. You never need a babysitter with that many siblings. For real. For real. So next thing you know is MJ's birthday. She is now 37 years old. And that's when we find out she no longer drinks because she has a drinking problem. Been drinking since she was 13 years old. End up getting a DUI. This heifer was doing 120 in a 45. 120 in a 45. Your max speed is supposed to be 45 and you doing 120. So she got arrested, was in jail for 24 hours, and she's been on probation for 2 years. She's claimed she started drinking at 13 because she just liked the taste of it. Bull. Something else is there, and hopefully we get to the root of it in this season. But her cousin is trifling as hell because her cousin was trying to force her to drink. Talking about she got a boring life now, and she even more boring with having that man behind four walls. That's a trifling cousin. I'm sorry. But when you dealing with a cousin that got a DUI and she on probation, yeah, blood ain't always thicker than water. I'll tell you that much. So with that, she sits up there and says she's going to Utah to see her mom. And we find out that when she went the last time to Utah to see her mom, she found out her mom has the big C. And so she said she ended up getting drunk and she ended up having freaky tales with her ex-husband. And not only did she end up having freaky tales with her ex-husband, she thought she was pregnant. Okay? And that's the facial expression of her friend who was like, what the hell is going on here? All right. Mind you, they keep showing us pictures of this ex and they're not blurring out his face. So that tells me we're about to see the ex on this show. We're about to see it. And what's so scary is him and Willie kind of look alike. I hope they're not related. It's Utah, so I don't know. But I hope they're not related. Yeah, because what are the odds that you end up meeting two guys from the small island that you're from? Now, unless they have just a heavy population of them in Utah, what are the odds? What are the odds? And at this point, I would be kind of nervous to deal with any freaking man in Utah the way your daddy was getting down. You might be. Let me shut up. Yeah, I would be scared as hell. Ain't no way your daddy sticking and moving like that. You constantly wondering. You may want to get a blood test before you even think about dealing with a man in Utah that comes from your island. That's all I'm going to say. So, with that being said, she says that she told Willie about the infidelity. Sorry, y'all. It's been a long day. But she tells Willie about the cheating. And she records their conversations now because I guess when he goes in a hole, she wants to be able to hear his voice. I'm sorry that it's still some weird ass shit, but whatever. So at that point, she plays the convo and she tells him about how she cheated. And he was like, you know what? I don't care if it's the baddest bitch out there. I still wouldn't poke her because, you know what I'm saying? I know something about loyalty. And she's sitting up there smiling while she got the phone. And I'm like, why she got the phone in her hand like that? Like, it just hold it natural. Like, I don't understand why she had it up like that. Something's wrong with this girl. Something's wrong with this girl. But I was like, why is she holding the phone like that? Like, it's on speaker. We're gonna be able to hear it regardless. So she was like, yeah, he was pissed off, he was mad, or whatever the case may be. But she claims Willie forgave her. And so at this point, though, she does mention though that she hasn't had freaky tales in a year since she had freaky tales. Excuse me, you guys, since she had freaky tales with her ex-husband. And it seemed like she's craving some more freaky tales from her ex-husband or someone because she ain't had it in a year. And then that's when her segment goes off. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see about her, but there's definitely more than what meets the eye. Them glasses don't fool me. Her little weird facial expressions don't fool me. We need to know more about this MJ, cause honey, she got a lot going on. She got a lot going on. That's a rough 37, more like 47. It's probably all that drinking. She definitely has a type. Yeah, they look just alike, which is very scary. I will stay away from that cousin. She's the type to want to see you make a fool of yourself in the street and on TV. There's a lot of them there for whatever reason. Oh, there is? There is? I will still be nervous. I would still be nervous. Your father has 36 kids. Maybe it's only 36 that you know about. You really don't know how many he really has. I would be nervous. Not recording calls that are already recorded. Right. Right. So something ain't right with this girl. Something ain't right with her. But we gonna have to see. We gonna definitely have to see. Willie has no choice. He needs her funds. He has forgiven. Now, is she paying? Because right now, we don't really know. We don't know if she's giving him any type of money. We ain't got that information yet. So we're going to have to see what she's actually bringing to the table besides conversation. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our final couple for the night. I'm telling you, this is about to be a quick one. Could I actually finish this? Could I finish this in less than an hour, honey? We about to see. So Savannah and Bradley, child. This girl brings out a fake butt, a girdle with padding in it, trying to convince him, I guess, about the surgery that she wants. And then next thing you know, this crazy girl brings out her mother's wedding dress saying, I want you to look at your future. And why can't we get married at the courthouse? This guy's looking at her like she's a pure joke, okay? A pure joke. But he mentions at that point that she's going to go furniture shopping with Alyssa, which is his sister. And he's like, why? Stay the hell away from her. Like, I want nothing to do with her. Don't deal with her. So apparently Alyssa is toxic as hell. And she even put hands on Savannah. And I'm like, so why in the hell would you deal with this girl, even with her putting hands on you? But because of course of her own insecurities, Savannah insecurities, she claims, Alyssa has helped her during rough times. Okay. Something tells me, and I don't know, but did they used to get blast off to the sky together, if you know what I mean? I don't know. But it seemed like to me that's possibly what was going on. Don't know for sure, but it just seems very weird that they have this type of attachment to each other. So with that, she says they go shopping. Okay. And so when they go shopping, she said that she kind of pushed away from Alyssa, but didn't explain to her why. And so at this point, she kind of wants to let her know in person why she hasn't spoke to her. And so Savannah's like, I love you, Alyssa. I love you, right? And Alyssa, who scares the hell out of me with these damn eyebrows. Like, speaking of other eyes that ain't got no freaking white part in them, and you just see black in her eyes, like they look like demon eyes. Yeah, she looking like, oh, I'm about to just go and take off on you. And Savannah's like, I've been staying away from you for my mental stability. And, I've been trying to push away for the next 6 months, for the last 6 months, because of my mental health. Alyssa flips out and is like, I'm the only one who stood by you. My family doesn't like you. My sister said you can't stay, you can't come to her house, or whatever the case may be. He doesn't even love you. You sat up there and said that, do you love me more than my grandmother? Like, who the hell does that? He's using you. He plans to dump you. And I'm like, damn. Like, that's why my family doesn't like her. Alyssa, do you want Savannah? The way she went off on that dang on girl, I was like, something's wrong here. Something is wrong here. And I'm like, girl, you a little too attached. You a little too cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, I know that they said you was toxic and you like drama, but her sitting up there saying that she needs to protect her mental health, and you spaz out like that, knowing she has had these substance issues that she has had. Wow. I didn't know how to respond to that. Yeah, she was. I was like, oh, you've been waiting for that moment. But she, what I'm saying? Like, my family is done with her. She has no opportunity with my family. Then why are you dealing with her then if she's that horrible of a person? Why are you dealing with her? You know what I'm saying? There's something about Savannah that rubs me wrong. It seems like this whole situation, everyone she kicks it around, from Bradley to Alyssa, this whole situation rubs me wrong, honey. Alyssa, and I'm telling you, them eyebrows, the lack of freaking, she's pale. She got them dark black eyes, honey. That's why I say, why are they so codependent on each other? Something ain't right with this relationship. Like, seriously, sister flipped out. She sure did. Alyssa looked like she ain't got shit to lose with them. I'm telling you, she is a joke. What makes her think he can pay for any type of surgery, marriage, fresh out of jail? And yeah, her friend is giving we used to fly. It's coming off that way. Now, again, I don't know for sure. This is all alleged, my opinion on it, but it's coming off that way as if that's what happened. And when she said that she was there for her as if she saved her life, makes me wonder if there was a moment where she completely blast off and went to the upper room, or almost went to the upper room, and she saved her. I don't know. But what I do know is the response that she got from Alyssa in this situation. It was scary, and it makes me wonder what is going on here, and why does she feel like that Savannah needs to have more loyalty to her versus Bradley. And the fact that she was real quick to say Bradley is going to dump you, he doesn't even like you, he's using you, then why didn't you tell her that from the beginning if you guys are so-called friends? Is that the reason why Bradley wants nothing to do with you? Or is there something deeper? But again, in that moment, it also told me that Alyssa, yeah, clearly they're right about you, and I could see why she needs to separate herself from you, because you would make somebody want to go fly high with that type of energy just by saying I needed some mental space for my mental health. That's it. Alyssa is frozen in time. Hey, Terry. Hello. You're awesome. Sacramento, California, visiting you. Sacktown, what's up? Bradley was everybody's dealer, and maybe including his sister, for all we know. But at the end of the day, baby, I was like, she flipped out. She didn't hold back. And she said, you're controlling. You're sick. You're sick. I was like, oh. Even the guy in the background, y'all notice the guy who was behind the counter in the background was looking like, what the hell is going on here? Maybe we shouldn't have allowed production to use this location, because I don't know what about to pop off in this furniture store. But he was even in the background like, oh, okay. I don't know if I should call the police or production got this. But yeah, that was quite interesting. And I'm curious to see if we're going to continue to see Alyssa, because I need to know what's really going on here, because that energy was just a little too strong for a simple, I have been staying away from you because I need a mental break. I need to focus on my mental health, especially when you know she's a former addict. Okay? It just didn't make any sense. Dump him, not her. He's a joke. That duck lip screwball. So, yeah, you guys, that was the end of the episode. When I tell you, look, we had more fun in this chat than the actual show. It was boring. It was really, really boring. I don't really know what I'm excited to see at this point. We're just kind of going through the motions. Hopefully, when we see what's her name, Jamaica, whatever her name is, apparently she talked about how she possibly involved in some type of crime scheme or whatever the case may be. And I don't know if they were trying to allege that maybe Donnie has something to do with this. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with that. But this to me was like a filler episode. Well, actually, last episode was a filler episode too. So hopefully it gets better next week, damn it, because this is ridiculous at this point. But let's continue to talk about this in the comments below. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Some of y'all may think this was a great episode. I was bored. Yeah, I was bored. But you know what? I wasn't bored talking and chatting with y'all. I love my crew, and we always keep it entertaining over here. So, with that being said, you guys, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles.